So I just made the video and I'm on the way to my day job, and I realized that maybe I didn't do a great job of getting one very important thing across, and that is that there's no such thing as weapon defense. You cannot play defense. You must play offense. If you go on defense against someone who's armed, you're outgunned already, you're going to bleed. You must hit him. You must hurt him. You must cause him pain. You are outgunned, true enough. But if you cause him discomfort and you stay on offense intelligently, then you might come out on top. All right, welcome to the Heritage Arts YouTube channel. I'm Mitch, this is Cameron, and today we're going to talk about defense against weapons. This is a very controversial subject. Everybody has an opinion. There are entire martial arts styles that revolve around this stuff, but we have a very practical, workmanlike approach, and we have done a lot of training in this area. And we do not use rubber weapons, so we only use wood. And what that means is that we know from experience and immediate pain, because we know what it's like to mess up, and we have stabbed each other with rigid wooden weapons. We have had the bruises, and you'll notice that we are both wearing eye protection and so on. So I encourage you, if you're a beginner, to start with a rigid rubber weapon, but as soon as you're past the beginner stage, when you practice these maneuvers, you should practice with mock wooden weapons so that you have the requisite fear of the weapon. If it's rubber, you have nothing to worry about. But if I come at him with a wooden weapon, then he has a little bit at least of fear, a fraction of the fear he should have if it was steel. All right? Now, the next thing is that you always run away from an armed person if there's space. We are filming in an open environment. In real life, if this was the situation, Cameron would flee. He would run. He would run as fast as he possibly can to get away from this weapon. So, in real life, if you were forced to actually fight someone hand to hand, and you were unarmed and they were armed, then you would probably be in a phone booth, or in a bathroom, restroom at the mall, or in a kitchen or something like that, because you would clearly flee. If you cannot flee, then you should search for a weapon in the immediate area, another knife of your own out of the butcher block, a broom, a lamp, whatever you can put your hand on, a paperweight even, because you need a force multiplier. Empty hand versus weapon is not good. All right? Now, basically, everything that's short is about the same. And in a moment, we'll talk about sticks, and we'll talk about longer weapons, axe handles, hammers, and so on, and we'll get into that. But suffice to say, you need to look at the man's hand, and you can tell by how he's holding it where it's going to come from. So we're going to deal with the combat clock, and we're going to go around the clock. And if you could stand right here. So Cameron knows if my hand is, the knife is in my right hand, and I have it here, it's pretty much likely that I'm going to attack him somewhere in this quadrant. On the clock, in a combat clock, that's going to be position 1, position 8, or position 7. And so he knows that I'm going to come at one of these angles for the most part. So he should be prepared to defend himself against those attacks, and he needs to learn to read them. All right? Now, if I wind up, if I'm going to come anywhere, I'm going to have to wind up. And if I wind up, I'm telegraphing even more where I'm coming from. So if I'm here and I pull back, I'm probably going to stab. If I go here, I'm going to slash him backwards. But we'll deal with each position. For the most part, your answer is you're going to circle counterclockwise, and you're going to hit twice. We call this a double strike. You're going to double strike the limb and the face. And then If you circled the other way and you strike the limb, you would be hitting the rigid parts of the arm that are bony and where he would most prefer to be hit. When you defend yourself, you put this up. But if he circles this way and strikes the arm, he's striking the soft parts of the arm, okay? So we'll turn just a little bit here. And so if I go and I attack him from one of these angles, then I want him to move here, and I want him to chop, to palm strike, or to hit with the back of his hand against that arm. Now what I don't want him to do is to palm strike front on, because if he screws up, he's exposing all the delightful material. So I want him to either strike downward with a hammer, down with a knife strike, or with the back of his hand, boom. And then this side I want him to punch to the face at the same time. So what he will do, the attack comes, and it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. And he's going to hit twice at the same time. So again, here, boom. That's it. This is not complicated. Now be careful. Don't let your palm roll over so that you're showing off the nice, delightful stuff, at least this way, if not this way. Okay? Now there's a whole other video about cuffing and how to strike arms, so refer to that. Now, when I say punch in the face, I want to make this much clearer. If you punch to the face, you will break your hand. So in heritage arts, we will often punch to the throat or to the neck. So punching someone in the face, you can use your open palm. Make sure that you turn your palm over. So this is important. So when he hits to the face, then he can turn his hand over and hit to the face. If he punches here, if he palms to the face this way, then his face is exposed on this side, and the likelihood that my hand would go over. So he needs to roll it over to protect his face. So he can palm strike to the face. If he punches with his fist, then we'd like for him to punch where? To the throat, or to the side of the neck, or somewhere where he won't break his hand. If he fist punches me to the face, then there's a likelihood he's going to hurt his hand pretty badly. And we want to inflict pain on him without inflicting pain on us. So let's make that clear too. That we strike to the face. We want to use a palm heel, and the part we would strike with would be this portion, some portion of this L, either the meaty pad here or the meaty pad here. So again, on the clock, boom. Now here's what's interesting. If the knife is here, does it make a big difference? Well, to some extent it does, because he has to make sure he really clears it, because if he stays too close, then his arm folds up a little bit, he could still get hit. So he needs to stay big. He needs to stay expansive. He doesn't need to be in here. So when he steps out, he needs to stay large, boom, and hit that thing so that he keeps out of here in case he miscalculates or his arm folds up a little bit, then he doesn't want to get hit, right? So does he block? We do not block in heritage self-defense. We hit. We want him to have discomfort, because if he hits the arm hard enough, then he could actually disarm it. So what's he going to do after he does his hit? He goes here, boom. Then if he gets a flinch reaction, I hope he'll continue to pack meat. I hope he'll continue to throw more punches. I hope he'll throw elbows, and I hope he'll throw knees. And he'll do whatever he has to do until, now if he doesn't get the reaction, or he misses, and then there's more slashes, then he's going to have to react from there. All right, now come back. Now, that's the most classic, that if you watch attack videos online, on YouTube, then you'll see that real life encounters, this is going to be 90% of everything that happens is going to happen from this quadrant. That's just all there is to it. The backhand is the one that you like the absolute most, because this is the one where all he has to do is strike and strike at the same time. It's the same thing. It's going to be double strike, bang, that's it. And it's so easy, because it's so easy to telegraph. If I have the knife in my hand, I have to pull back, and he knows immediately what I'm going to do, and he goes bang, and he hits me twice. When he gets the flinch reaction, then he's going to continue to hit. It's that simple. Now, if he goes to a stab, it's going to get more complicated than that. You also can do what's called a 1-2-3 on the windup. Let's say they have a longer weapon in their hand and they're getting ready to bash you. Then you can still do the same maneuver. But what you can do is if you don't wait if you see a windup. So let's say it's a larger weapon and I go to here. Then as soon as I pull back, just walk in and hit him in the face. Leap in and do a punch 1 with your lead hand. Come on, do it. So bang, 1, 2, and then follow up with a kick. So just do your basic 1-2-3. Bang, 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 or whatever you feel like doing. So when you get this attack here, just leap in, hit him with a 1-2-3, and then let him have it. So wait for the windup. Now if you have a long weapon, if he stays where he is, then he is going to get ladled with a long weapon. So 1-2-3 on the windup is the way to go. If it's really heavy, he should know if I'm holding a long weapon this close, there's not much I can do to hurt him. So if he can't run, then why wouldn't he just put his left hand on the stick, grab it, walk in, and start packing meat? That's the way to do it. But if it's a baseball bat and it's down low, I'm going to have to do this. And then I hope he'll come in and hit me with a left, and then hit me with a right, and then hit me with a big kick, and then continue to advance as he does it. However, against a short weapon, obviously things are a little bit different. Against the longer weapon, you want to go with the 1-2-3 on the windup and keep your distance. So if it's a longer weapon, obviously, if you think you can't make your entry, then you jump back as far as you can until such time as you can get a miss, and then maybe you can enter on the miss. All right? Now, let's move back to the third part. Okay, now, stab. So if I have the knife in the middle, and then he can now reasonably assume that it's going to be a stab, and he should be mentally prepared for the stab. If I wind up, he knows where it's coming from. It's going to come from here. If I wind up here, he knows where it's coming from. But if I do this, then he should read this body language, and he knows that it's going to come. He's also going to do a double hit, but he can't do them quite at the same time because he has to hollow out in order to do it. So what he's going to do is he's going to hollow out, and he's going to take his left hand, he's going to bash the arm, and then with his right hand he's going to quick follow up with his punch, and then hopefully he can then also get a kick. Sorry, I just flicked dirt on you.
Should you step forward for the punch?
Should you step forward for the punch? No, you're going to have to hollow out and do it, because if you step in and you miscalculate, then you'll get stabbed. So from this position, when the knife comes in, you want to hollow out, bash the arm with the left hand, and then bang. And you have to go boom, and you're going to have to bang. Now you can lean back, and then you can do a push kick or a oblique kick with your heel and strike. So again, from here, if I have the knife and then I decide I'm going to come straight in, he's going to hollow out, he's going to bash the arm, punch, and then maybe follow up with a kick. I want to make sure I hollow, boom, and then I'll come back with my kick, bang, here. All these backhand attacks are the easiest thing to defend against. This is extremely rare. You're never going to see it. But if you did, he knows what to do. He's going to do a double strike. Bang. Bang. So keep it as simple as you possibly can and don't overcomplicate it. The reality is you're going to see lots of fancy stuff online. You're going to see all kinds of exotic maneuvers to defend yourself against weapons. And the simplicity of it is that most of that stuff just won't work. There are a few techniques that will work that are in our metal drill that's called the STAR, in which we have 8 techniques that you can use against grappling. And there's a separate video about that. And that's when you're in very close and you're just surprised and the knife is here, right? And so we'll have a separate video on those. But when you're at this range and their slashes are coming, he automatically knows, stop, hit, hollow out. He's going to hit the arm and cause pain. He's going to hit the face and cause pain. A very good martial artist from back in the day named Dave Dirch told me this fact, and it is pain changes the game. Everybody has a plan, as Mike Tyson said, until they get hit in the face. If you stay defense against this knife and you do not hit him, and he does not have pain, he's going to continue to attack you with the knife, and then it's never going to end. Let's talk now about the sewing machine or the grab and stab. So if I'm standing here, come forward a little bit. This is another thing he can tell by body language. If he sees me here, he knows immediately. You can tell him, what am I getting ready to do? I'm getting ready to grab and stab, because I'm hiding the weapon from you and I'm planning on doing it. Or I have it here and I'm going to grab and stab. So against the grab and stab, then you're going to hit me in the face. There's no reason. You're getting complicated because look, I held it back. Well then, at this point, just punch him in the face, repeatedly in the face. Now if you're surprised and the stabs are coming, then you're going to have to take two hands and then put them into the elbow. And so you want to jam them into the elbow and you want to keep them there so I can't get you, and you want to slowly circle until you get towards this side and then push it against my body. You're going to push it against my body, maneuver to the elbow, and then you're going to reach underneath, go to here, grab the fist, and you're going to squeeze it until my wrist flexes. And when my wrist flexes, I'll drop the weapon. So I'll show that again to you briefly. All right. So if it's here and he sees me here, well, he should hit me in the face immediately. It should not be hesitation. If you see a man with a knife coming towards you like this, hit him in the face, okay? If you can't run, obviously. We already said that at the beginning. Don't forget that. If this is a real scenario, Cameron runs every time. But if he's in the men's room or he's attacked right outside his car in the parking lot and his back's against a vehicle or he can't run, he's against a wall, then he's going to have to do something. And this is what he does. So I'm in here and suddenly the knife is coming. He's going to get to that elbow and then he's going to push it against my body, bully me backwards, and he's going to reach around here and he's going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That's called a muffle, and I would call it the hat maker muffle. I was taught that by the immortal Mark Hatmaker. Credit where credit's due. And so that's how you muffle. And I would say that that's one of only 3 or 4, but that's the premier disarm of all the disarms I've ever worked at our Heritage Arts Club. That is the one that really works. So he's going to have to endure a number of stabs, and we'll do this slow motion. So it's going to be here, boom, boom, boom. He's going to slowly maneuver and push it against my body until he gets to here. And so if I begin to lift up, what he's going to do before he gets there, so if he pushes against my body and I begin to lift out of it, what he'll do is he'll come behind it and he'll hang on it. He'll squat and he'll drag it back down. Then he'll pop out and then he'll grab it and then he'll squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until my wrist bends. I'm going to come in and bully, bully, bully. I'm going to make my way behind it, sit on it, squeeze it until it flexes. And he's going to do a sewing machine. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to pin it against his body. Then I'm going to come behind it. If he tries to lift out, I'm going to hang on the arm. I'm going to come to here, and then I'm going to bend it. Now, he's being nice to me. He's giving you a nice, slow squeeze. But if it's your life on the line, once he gets his hand around it, he's a strong kid, and what he's going to do is he's going to go as hard as he can, and he's going to fold it, and then the wrist is busted, and the knife is loose. So that is your grab and stab or sewing machine stab defense. If I come to here, he's just going to hit me in the face because he's got the advantage, the time advantage. If he's too close and it's too soon, he has no time to prepare, it's a surprise attack, bam, bam, bam. He wants to push it against my body, bully me back, then he goes behind it, he gets the knife, go ahead, yep, and then squeeze, and then that's the tap. The only thing we did not cover is an up stab, which is very rare, but the same thing would hold true as held true with the straight stabs, is that if it comes from underneath, he's going to hollow his body out, he's going to bang the arm, he's going to punch me in the face.
Boom.